Yes, sir. How are you, Bo?
I'm good. I'm good.
Nice, nice.
How's things
I
down
thought
there?
I thought you're going to be in Russia, man.
Hey,
Wait,
we cannot cross any border now. We have to stay home.
good to be stuck in the US instead of Russia.
Bula, Bula Antonio,
How are you?
Bula Mundo.
Bula Mundo.
Okay, we are all here and ready. Jose, can we start? It's 2 minutes earlier, but well, you are seventh player, so we have to be quick.
On time, always.
Definitely.
Okay.
Fiji
Hello,
time.
Mr. Saravi. How are you?
Not Fiji time. No Fiji time. We'll be here tomorrow. We'll start tomorrow then.
Yeah, let's give it a couple of minutes because I've got some matches here. People are still logging in, and but yeah, thank you. I'll make just a quick thank you, everyone. Sorry, guys, some of you is very early in the day, so thank you for making the effort. Todd, Sarevi, Campo, Antonio, Pedro, and for a special thank you for Francisco for making this happen. Technologies with him, so without him, well, I would be stuck. Okay, so thank you, Francisco, for putting this together. And well, 1 minute to go, so I suppose.
Okay, just give me a second. I'll be back in 1 minute, guys. Just 1 sec.
Sure.
What's the idea here? It's just talk more about the Algarve Sevens and
Yeah, not really. It's about sevens, and Francisco is going to talk.
I have some complicated questions for you all.
okay, so you
Surprise.
drive
I like
the
surprise.
conversation, right?
Yes,
You drive the conversation, yeah. Okay.
Francisco is going to lead the chat and just talk about sevens in general, and not really about the Algarve sevens, but
If you want all to share the feed, it's live on Facebook and YouTube. This program, if you want to.
Good. Thank you. I will.
On Sports Ventures, you have to look for it and you'll find it.
I'll do that now.
Wait for Campisi, right?
Yeah, back. Here I am. Sorry.
Okay, ready to start? Or Jose, you want to wait? It's 8:30.
Let's go.
On time.
Okay.
Right on time.
So hello everybody, and welcome to the live Sevens Q&A with me, Francisco Isaac, and David Campisi, Antonio Aguilar, José Trigo Moraes, the Sports Venture boss, the man who made all this happen. Todd Clever, Cleaver from USA, if you remember him. Waisela Serevi, right there, and Pedro Leal, one of the best players of Portugal, as well as Antonio. Well, I have a very early question for you. Can you still do a Bronco or you can't?
Easy.
Easy.
Yeah.
Under 5 minutes is possible still?
We didn't talk about the time at first. We talked about Bronco. We can do it for 1 hour, 5 days.
Pedro and Antonio, you still can do a good Bronco?
Not really a good one. I hope I just can finish one. I'll be happy with finishing one.
I will do shortly. Now Antonio is my new coach, so I'm sure that maybe next week I will do it. So I will post on my Facebook.
Be ready. It's much easier to be on the sideline just telling him to run. So
Oh, you retired 2 years ago. We still can do it.
Oh man, for me, I could watch people do it. I could maybe eat a bronco. I could eat a bronco, but I don't know about run a bronco now.
But I'm sure, David, do you miss doing Broncos in your early days of playing rugby, or it's not a memory that you are fond of?
Guys, I must admit, I've never heard what a Bronco is. Can you please explain?
Oh, well, a Bronco is a type of modern torture, you know?
I know what it is. I know. Everyone, everyone talks about. I think Bowden Barrett did it
Yeah.
a couple of weeks ago with some time. I reckon it's bizarre, but mate, it's quite interesting how you guys, like, everyone talks about, oh, geez, it's amazing time and all that, but to me, it was more about how you played the game, not about how fast you can run or what sort of time you can do with these Bronco tests. We used to call them beep tests, changed over time, mate. So, very strange times.
Well, you played Union 15 and sevens. Do you remember your earlier games as a seven player or not?
Yeah, no, because Hong Kong Sevens was the only sevens tournament around back in those days. So we would arrive on a Wednesday night. The boys would go out for a few beers. We trained Thursday for 1 hour, go shopping. Friday, 1 hour training, go shopping. Play Saturday, play Sunday, shop Monday, go home. That was it. So very different to the world circuit these days. But it was a lot easier to play because I think we were fortunate that we played a style of rugby that in 15s that allowed you to try and show about how good you are one-on-one. And I think it was really about just getting out there, having a bit of fun and and enjoying the moment, really.
Yeah, enjoying the moment is something that you did many times. I went to YouTube yesterday to check some videos about you, and I found this precious gem of stepping. Did you do this in sevens? I'm going to put the videos to people see it.
This one here, mate, that's World Cup 91, yeah.
Yeah,
It was really about, we were very fortunate that we were allowed to, I suppose, express ourselves a lot more than I suppose these days. If you watch even sevens, to me, I've always believed, and Serevi might be able to back me up. Sevens is about evading skills. You don't want to run into people. You don't want to get tackled, because if you tackle out on the ground, you're out of the game. You're no good. So these days, yes, it's very structured because teams. That from a scrum now, the ball goes in the scrum, they give it to the fast guy in the corner and hopefully scores a try. And if he doesn't, the ball goes to the other side of the field. In the old day was you could slow the game down. Serevi was great at this. You kick the ball, Serevi, he would walk and you would approach him, you would walk. And that's when you can do what you want to do. You can step, you can kick, whatever. And that's the beauty of sevens. You got the ball, you control the game. But these days it is, everyone's like, 100 kilos or probably less. They're fast and they all talk about the collision. I mean, to me, that's not sevens. Sevens was about running the space, putting the ball, support the player. And obviously just, for us was having a good time. Playing sevens flat outs, especially in Hong Kong when you get to the final, you've got 10 minutes. It's not easy, but it's all about that enjoyment factor and winning. And the other important thing about Hong Kong was that the Wallabies or the Australian team used to get booed every time we played. So that was a bit more of incentive.
Mr. Serevi, I went to check on YouTube also some videos of you, and I picked one that you're going to be so fond of. You remember this one? So this is...
Oh, it's Brisbane 2000, I think. Oh, yeah, I remember.
Well, do you think, yeah, say it, do you think that the game changed so much from then to nowadays?
From me, looking at the game now and before, like Campo is saying, before we go on, I just want to say thank you to all these super legends of rugby that are here. Campo, thank you for all. Campisi, thank you for all you've done for rugby, for Australia and the world. Todd Clever, thank you for doing everything you've done for rugby, for USA, and the two legends from Portugal, Pedro and Antonio. Thank you for all you've done for rugby. For me, like Campo was saying, sevens before was moving the ball to spaces and moving the ball. It's more fun. I always ask myself about the difference between sevens now and sevens before. I always tell people, in my mind, I'm still asking the question. The game has changed, and it has changed to a lot of contact. I always ask a question to myself. I haven't said it to anyone, whether the reason why they are doing this is because the people are fit and strong, or the lack of vision, to identify the spaces and move the ball to the spaces. And again, I answer it myself, or maybe each country have their own game plan. Then it depends on the coaches, what kind of players he have, so that it suits his game plan. He has a game plan, you have to pick the players to suit his game plan. Before, like Kempo said, arriving on Wednesday, have some beer, go shopping, play rugby, then shopping Monday night, fly out. Now it's like, it's professional. And players are getting fitter. And a lot of, before it was like Australia, New Zealand, Fiji, that's all. Hong Kong Sevens. Now it's IRB 7 Series. There's a lot of sevens tournament going on in the world. 10 top, 8 before, now it's maybe 10. 10 international sevens tournament. And a lot of people have known how to play sevens. And they are working, a lot of these teams, as the players can know, defense wins games. They work harder on defense than on attack. That's maybe the reason why they lack a lot of option of trying to find the space, trying to create the space. That is why sevens now, it's like a lot of contact going on, and it is getting tougher and tougher every year.
Pedro and Antonio, do you miss the World Series? You played there for a long, long time. What is your first memory of the World Series, Antonio?
Well, I played probably in Dubai before it was the series in 2000. The series started the year after. So we started there, and Portugal wasn't, it was just invited for a couple of tournaments for Dubai, Durban at the time, and Hong Kong. And yeah, it was one of the times that I faced Waze was in those first tournaments. And I watched Campo as a kid in the 15s, and I played as a winger, so it was my first idol in the 15s with a goose step. And then Waze had the goose step in the sevens, and it was a pleasure to play against one of my heroes, Waze. And then in sevens, Portugal, Fiji, and then we played together in France in the same club in Montmarsan. So,
Allez, Montmarsan.
So yeah, I guess this was the first memories, because in Portugal we didn't have a chance to play against big name players and face big time teams. So in sevens and the World Series, we had the opportunity to face the big name players and the big teams and compete, because in 15s Portugal couldn't compete with anybody, and in sevens is always it's any team's game. That's one of the beauties of sevens.
Yeah, agreed.
Pedro, you have a lot of memories too. What's your favorite?
My favorite, not my favorite, but all the years on the World Circuit was really amazing, and I miss those times. I remember playing against Todd, and when at that times we used to beat USA. I remember that times. First memories, I remember the World Cup in Hong Kong 2014. 2005, yes, yeah. And Waze lift the trophy in the end, so Fiji won. I was there with Antonio, so it was my first World Cup in sevens, so it was a really good memory. Then I had the chance to play 2 more World Cups, so that's of course very good for Portugal.
That is amazing.
Yeah, for Portugal rugby, and I play also with Antonio the World Cup 15. So good times for Portugal. Of course, I miss those times. I remember beating the Australia, not the time Campese didn't play, but I remember we beat a couple of times Australia. That's quite amazing for a small country like Portugal. I remember also we beat South Africa in Dubai some years ago. So it's
Congratulations.
for a small country, and we draw in Hong Kong against New Zealand. So you imagine for a small country like us, draw against New Zealand in Hong Kong, the best tournament in the world. It's quite unbelievable. So nowadays we see USA, and can talk about those times. I remember that we used to beat many times USA, and nowadays they are right on the top. And unfortunately, Portugal it's difficult times now for Portugal. So we hope we go back and to the World Series, because it's quite amazing to be there.
Thank you, Pedro.
Todd, you have one incredible try that I think was a try of the tournament some years ago.
As a
Yeah,
penalty.
I was there. South Africa, Todd, no? South Africa, yeah.
Yep, George.
George.
Yeah, this
We were-
time is something.
We were there,
Do you
Antonio.
miss
We
this?
were-
Do you miss this, Todd? Doing these jumps, these running, or you prefer playing 15 rather than sevens?
You know what? Rugby to me has always been about rugby and having fun and making friends and traveling the world. And I was lucky enough to make a living out of it, playing professional for over a decade. But I never lost track of enjoyment and having fun. So, with that try that you show, it's like, yeah, I could have gone left, I could have gone right, but why not have a smile on my face and kind of do that. I try to try to tie in the social aspect of the years of Campo, doing it, having enjoyment, but also with the high performance of the Olympians that are playing the game now. So, with me, I always try to bring my 15s game to the sevens of the contact and physicality. And then when I played 15s, I would want to play my sevens more like what Srevi was saying, with vision and skill and running lines. So it really helped me adapt. So that's what I always tell the boys and girls that I speak with and I help coach is, play them both, because it's gonna really help your skill, physicality, and never forget to always have a smile and have that enjoyment.
Sevens is a lot about enjoyment and the great atmosphere. Campo, do you remember the Hong Kong sevens back in the 80s and 90s? What was the atmosphere there? It's so different. It's much different from today, or it's still the same?
I think it's a different scenario now, because if you think about, we were very fortunate because there were a few sevens tournaments around the world, but Hong Kong was the tournaments. And you would turn up and you'd see Serge Blanco play. You'd see, the British Barbarians, the Wolfhounds, the Warblers. You had all these teams just rock up. You played Malaysia, Manila, Sri Lanka, South Korea, China. You get to play all these minnow countries. I shouldn't call them minnows, but back then, the big boys. And the thing about it was that, everyone spoke about, their experiences, and that's what it was. It was an experience. We used to sit in the grandstand with the supporters. So you'd walk off the pitch and you sit in the grandstand and the supporters are right near you and you'd be talking away like it's a normal conversation. So now it's different, and I remember when the new stadium was picked and and I got not a bit annoyed. It was people used to go there and they used to support Fiji because they knew Srevi played, or Todd played for America if there was American supporters, because these guys were on the World's 15 circuit as well. And, that was it. It was a star-studded lineup, the guys, the British, like typical, they'd go across there, the Wolfhounds, the Barbarians, and they'd pick a bunch of guys, and it was just a massive piss up, really. They just go there and have a great time and enjoy off the field and on the field. And then, and then some countries like the Fijians, Australia, New Zealand back then, didn't just started to send their national team. It used to be like the Crusaders, a club side. So when it got very serious, you know, some of these other countries decided to put the big teams in. And looking back now, it was about, you know, playing the game, enjoying it, but also for the spectators, because that's why they come. Now you go there. I mean, with Serevi, you know, my first year was as 1983. Some of you guys weren't even born back then. And it was very different to today. And you go there now and, you know, you go to the boxes, you walk around as an ambassador and you go in and say, guys, who are you supporting? Oh, England. Do you know who's playing for England? Oh, I no idea. Don't know who the names are, but we support England. In our day, we were very fortunate. You had Serevi, you know, even Todd went to it. You had all these big names. So the people that would attract the people. Now, you know, some of these names are known on the 7 circuits, but not really international names for 15s. So, you know, so when these tournaments come along, people love the excitement. That's what they want to see. They want to see the unexpected, the unpredictable. And I think that's what rugby is all about and still is about if you can get the style right. Todd said when he coaches kids, you know, the boys and girls, it's about fun. You know, I did a session here last year with a bunch of girls and I said, girls, firstly, I said, sevens is not about getting tackled. And they look at me like I was really weird because girls want contact. They want to smash somebody because that's why they play sevens because of netball. There's all these other sports. There's no contact for them. So they really want to get involved. And I've gone, girls, no. And they looked at me like I'm a dinosaur. But trying to get to understand the game is another aspect of it. But look, I was fortunate to go to the Commonwealth Games in '98. Great experience. And now, obviously, the Olympic Games. So that's one thing I missed out on. But, geez, you know, the opportunities for any rugby player from any country, boy or girl, is absolutely amazing these days. And they're very fortunate that, you know, that they've got the opportunity to go out and play on a massive stage and be well-known figures.
Yeah.
Like it happened in Rio, this Olympics, they can attract some big names again to the game of sevens. Like it happened in Rio. I mean, Sonny Bill was there and
Rico.
another guy, some of the guys tried out, but they couldn't make it because it was such a different sport from 15s now. But maybe the sevens going to the Olympics can bring back the big names and put sevens with bigger audiences. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you're right because I know Australia tried many years ago with Lottie Dakiri and all that, and it is a different skill set now.
I think Quade Cooper played a couple of tournaments prior Rio, but it couldn't make the squad. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, as you said, I think before, it's about the coaches, what style they want to play as well.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, Quade Cooper is an unbelievable player, but the problem is we have a problem in especially our sport in Australia is the unpredictability of a player. So if Serevi was playing, lucky the Fijians play that style in 15s and 7s, so they're very fortunate. But in Australia, we are very structured now. So when you've got structure and you've got a flair, a guy who's unpredictable, the game should be about me giving Serevi an option when he does something. At the moment, we have players who, Kurtley Beals, the Quade Coopers, who are very unpredictable, but the other players are very structured. They don't understand how to give an option to Serevi. If he runs across, if I run straights, we've lost that knack of trying to anticipate things and playing the game. So, and that's because of coaches come in, they want to coach how they want to coach. It's not about what the talent you've got, about, okay, guys, go around, throw the ball around and get to know each other. And this is how we're going to play. Very structured, all coaches are the same these days, unfortunately. And also depends on the players you've got. If you've got players who can play one style of rugby, that's what you stick to. But if you've got people who can want to experiment, you should not stop them from trying. Even as a young kid, let them try. If they make a mistake, who cares? The more they try, the more they're going to go out there and actually keep on trying. And that's where the unpredictability comes. And that's where you get these players who are fascinating, who do things. You go, how did he actually do that? It's by watching and learning.
I agree. I think the only team that still does that is Fiji. So that's
Yeah.
why all the supporters love Fiji, because it's still the only team that play as you are talking. So the other teams are very structural and they all play the same way of the game. And Fiji, they keep the ball alive. They enjoy playing, and I think that's why everyone loves Fiji. So I agree with you about that. So.
Todd, I have a question for you. You are always from the start a 15 players, so you're very physical. When someone goes to see highlights from you, it's great tackles, always. Some good tries in Super Rugby. You played Super Rugby, which was not normal at the time from a guy from USA or Europe come down and play for what's the biggest competition in the earth of clubs. But you then went to sevens. How did you change your mindset, like Campo was saying, avoiding tackles, not going to the tackle? So how did it change for you?
Yeah, I mean, my whole thing.
Very difficult.
Yeah, I mean, you know, a lot of it should have been more thought out. For me, it's pretty easy to go forward, and you know, if that's sometimes I got yelled at for doing so instead of playing to the game. But whenever I was in doubt, I was looking for someone's chest to run at. So you know, not so more of the Tongan or Samoan sidestep was what I wanted to. That's a compliment. Yeah, I mean, from going back to sevens and 15s, any contract that I signed overseas, if it was Super Rugby or if it was over in Japan or in England, the Premiership, it had to let me play for USA. You know, I'm such a prideful guy, and anytime I had an opportunity to wear the USA jersey, I wanted to have that as an option. And it was always throughout my whole career my number one choice. So yeah, it was great playing Super Rugby, playing provincial rugby in New Zealand, Japan for a number of years, and England. But you know, nothing was the same as putting on that USA jersey, running out of that tunnel, and representing you know what it is. Because I knew at the time, you know, for myself, I didn't have a pathway to the national team. I didn't have a pathway to go overseas. Mine was all about goal setting. Mine was all about, you know what, this is who I like to play. This is how I want to play. These are my favorite players. And when I first started playing rugby, all I got was Tri-Nations and Super Rugby. So it was on my goals to compete in that competition. And that's why, you know, I put all my eggs in one basket. And when I had opportunities, you know, to go to France and England after the 2007 World Cup, I went to South Africa because I was able to, you know, tick that box off of my main goals to play Super Rugby.
Pedro, you ticked some boxes in your time, but in the sevens, what do you remember? What you would want to go that you couldn't do it? You scored. You had some pretty good things like this one. It was voted the best try of the season, if I'm not wrong. But it's this one. Do you remember this try?
I did remember, yeah, but I remember that tournament because we lost against Samoa that game for one try, I think. But in the same day, we beat England and we beat South Africa, and we come first in our pool. So
wow,
that
is amazing. Congratulations.
So it's not about the try, it's all about the team effort. So we used to play very good in Dubai. So in the same tournament, beating those big names, big countries, and then score the best try of the season was memorable. But I miss all the tournaments and all the fun of the 7 circuits.
Trevi, if you could play, if they gave you the opportunity to come play again today, would you do it?
Well, what's that again?
If the Fiji team gave you the opportunity to go play again, would you do it? Nowadays,
of course he will. Of course he will.
He played last season. He played last season in Algarve.
True.
I remember Algarve Sevens last year. I was like coaching the boys, and then we were like losing the games, lose the games, and then we had a game to play, and then the boys, they asked me, hey, that was just last year. I was 51. And they said, hey, you have to play. Then I said, okay. Then in my mind, I was like, okay, if I told them, if I play the game, I have to score the try. But cut the story short, I scored 1 try, which was, I was just supporting, and then I was at the right time, right place, doing the right thing. And I scored a try in 3 seconds, 5 minutes. So it was good for me. But
Magic
like
is
the
still there.
question, of playing with Fiji at the moment, I think the level of fitness the boys are training is like at a good level. They came out to a sevens in Rugby Town Sevens, I think in 2017. And they came only 7 of them that went to the Olympics. I arranged for them to come. They're supposed to be 10. Came was like 7 players that were playing in the Olympics. And when they came, they arrived, I told them, where's the other boys? And they said, we need only any 5 players. To win this tournament, we need any 5, just bring any 5. So, and then they forced me to play with them. And it was so much easy because they were fitter, they were bigger boys. It was Chasa, you guys know Chasa. It was Viri, and Apisai Indomalelai, Watemora Bovo, all of them. They were there, but they played, and it was like you can go in and out. So they just need subs. And then at the end, we won the tournament. But as I said again, give the opportunity to play with them. I think the level of fitness the boys are doing at the moment, it's amazing, it's crazy, and I'd rather watch. I've done my mileage playing this game. I'd rather watch and chase people to run.
Well, but Zé Diogo Moraes, you can say the Algarve Sevens had the opportunity to have Serevi's last career try.
That's right.
Yeah. First, 99, now you was in 99 in Portugal, so it's an honor for us opportunity. Antonio, you played and coached in the World Series. You came from different eras. When you coached the guys, how did you put your mind into it? It's completely different, right?
Well, it was different for me because I played with a lot of them. With Pedro, for instance, I played a lot of years with him, and then a couple of years later, I was coaching him. And I think I was harder on him because of that, because he's my friend and I know him very well. So it was easy to be hard on him to give an example to the other boys. So, but I mean, it was great to get back to the series because I wasn't playing for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. And so I missed it a lot, just watching on TV and talking to the boys when they came back, because the level, every year, the level went up, not necessarily in rugby quality, but in fitness and in preparation and in professionalism. And it was a big gap between the time that I stopped playing and when I got there to coach. It was a completely different game. And really we had to adapt really quickly. And because we're not professional in Portugal, it was hard to maintain a squad. The number of the players were always changing. So, but still, I mean, I think I still believe that sevens is the way to go for Portugal rugby, to develop and to create a bigger rugby country and to create fans in Portugal, because we can compete against the bigger teams. Because, for instance, we went to the World Cup 15s and we lost every game by a mile. It wasn't a competition. We just went there to participate, basically. But if you go to the World Cup sevens or to any tournament of the series, we compete with every team. So actually, it's better for the sport, other than just being in the field with the All Blacks. We got smashed by 100 points, and we would always be smashed by 100 points every time we would play. But in the sevens, we might up winning some of the games because it's so close and it's so fast. A couple of games, a couple of errors each way, and it's done. So that's why sevens is great for small countries like us.
Antonio, in cutting you off, I mean, I think you got to give yourself a little bit more credit. I remember you, Portugal scoring a great try in the World Cup against the ABs, right?
Yeah, but we scored one. They scored like 20. I don't know.
I was cheering for you guys when you scored.
Everybody was. Even the All Black fans were cheering us when we scored.
I remember.
Well, but that's rugby, cheering the opposition. It's something so natural for rugby fans. So if you went to Algarve for last year, do you feel a really good rugby experience over there in Algarve Sevens?
Yes, I want to thank the management for organizing the Algarve Sevens and for inviting me to be part of the Sevens tournament. And to people watching this live question Q&A, I think to the teams, especially in Europe, I think, and I believe that the Algarve Sevens is a best tournament to go to. It's well organized. It's on near the beach. As rugby players, we want to relax after the games. You should come to Algarve Sevens. It is one of the best venue of Sevens tournament in Europe, I believe. And it's a beautiful ground, and they are well organized, good hotels, accommodation. And I really had a great time meeting people, even though our team, we just met and trained once, like the Australian team, they always meet on Wednesday and one train, and then they try and go to the competition. That was our team, our team that was selected from all over the place. But we really had a great time, and I believe it's going to be on again on the 4th and 7th June next year. And I invite teams around Europe, if you're close by, you should come to the Algarve Sevens on the 4th and 7th June 2021 to enjoy the Sevens and enjoy the beautiful beaches after the game.
Campese, are you ready to come to Algarve and experience what is Portugal?
You should
Oh,
come.
I'm ready to come now, mates. I'm ready. I want to see Serevi run around again.
You have to come.
No, my wife said I'm coming. I don't care about you, but she's coming. Don't worry. So, yeah, mate, looking forward to it very much.
I want to thank Jose. Jose, thank you for the invitation from last year, and looking forward to come out again.
My pleasure. It's great it will be great to have you back. You guys and Todd as well, of course, he's been there playing, and he'll be coming back again as an ambassador, and to Campese. It will be great to have you here. Next year will be. I'm not able to confirm or not, but there will be another legend joining you. We're trying to set up a classics game in the Algarve. So you guys will be
Todd.
If you want.
Yeah, Todd's.
Up to you.
Todd's on our side.
Todd on my team.
Yes, running over everyone. No, but it's about fun as well, and obviously we want to put up a good standard competition. That's why we have the elite tournament, but we want to keep that social side of rugby as well, and having fun. It's a big part of rugby, at least for me, and we want to keep that way. And having a Legends program is like Campo was saying, going to the Hong Kong 7 and seeing all those players in those years, and it's for us, at least in Portugal, it's great to to spend a couple of days with some legends of the game like yourself. So it will be great. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Campisi, I was asking you, what do you expect of a tournament? It's not small, but it's a tournament that's away from the center of rugby. What do you expect from it?
Mate, I just expect everyone to have a bit of fun. And, you know, when you get different teams, especially not at the professional level, you see different styles of rugby as well. I know that there's a set way, you know, I remember in '88, the All Blacks, they came to, well, the New Zealand team came to Hong Kong, and Buck Shelford came along, who was a big number 8, and it was more about mauling the ball in sevens, and, you know, it was very different for us to see this. So, you know, and it allows teams to do different things. You know, it's probably not as much pressure as you see the massive tournaments, you see, you know, the World Series. You know, there's so much pressure these days. I was very fortunate back in 1985. We went to Dubai, and we had a game in Bahrain. It was the 15s, and we played on sands. Anyway, so off we go to Dubai. Never been there before, so we're playing for the Warblers, which was a couple of English guys got these guys together. We used to have pink shorts, pink jerseys, and off we went. And so we're on the way to the stadium, and we're passing the beautiful palace, beautiful green grass. You go, this is going to be great. And you rock up, and there you are playing on sands. And it was a total different way of playing, but it's still the experience, the fun, the different teams, the different styles. That's what unique was about sevens in those days. You didn't really know, you know, you had the Fiji, the way they throw the ball around, you know, over their head, in between their legs and all that. And then you get the typical English play, the proper way, and you got all these different teams, different players. So, you know, every team's unique, every country's unique the way they play. To me, the way they hold their sevens. And I think that what Sir Evie said, it's about, and Todd, it's about the enjoyment. Go and have a lot of fun. You know, if we can help out, do a couple of clinics for the kids, mate, it's fantastic, because, you know, when you pass on a bit of knowledge, you know, the kids pick up maybe one little thing that's going to help them understand the game, or, you know, really want to play this great sport.
You grew up seeing the Lisbon Sevens. It was a big tournament at the time, and Pedro also. But this question for you: it helped you want to be a sevens player, seeing that tournament with different teams coming from all around the world. I think even the Pacific team came to Lisbon for one time. You still played Lisbon Sevens? Yes,
For me. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played. I won one time with Portugal, actually. Played a couple of times with my club, Direito, but I won one time with Portugal against Samoa. We played against Samoa in the final. And I grew up watching the Lisbon Sevens, and big names like Campo said still could come here and have fun in Lisbon, because rugby wasn't professional. So in the summer, they would come to Lisbon and play sevens for fun. And I guess the Algarve is now a new Lisbon Sevens, and hopefully it can have the same impact in young players and bring some of the big names back to Portugal to play sevens and promote this beautiful game.
Todd, you're coming to Algarve next year. I'm sure of it. You're going to play rugby in the morning, surf in the afternoon, or the otherwise?
Well, I definitely have already packed. That's how excited I am. And the two
Don't forget the sunglasses, eh? Don't forget the sunglasses.
the three biggest
Really
pieces
hot.
are the sunglasses, sure, the surfboard, and the rugby boots. So I'm all in. And again, I'm so excited to echo what Sir Evie was saying. You know, I've been there and I've played there, and the hotels are awesome, rooftop pools, the boardwalk. I mean, that city have done such an amazing job with everybody, you know, the government officials, everybody really gets behind it. So when you land, you know that there's a big tournament going on, and that's what you want. You know, everybody, if it's going to be playing at the elite level or social, you know, all that is really cool. So I'm happy with that. And people, sorry about that.
Yeah.
Somebody's calling you.
All these house party requests and one party. So it's Friday. Hopefully everybody's enjoying themselves.
Pedro,
Someone's calling. He wants to come too.
Exactly.
Pedro, are you coming to play in Algarve Sevens or just coaching as last year when you were in the staff team from the Samurais?
I didn't play last year because I was injured. So I hope in 2021 be fit enough to play. If not, maybe coaching, but of course I want to play. Hope Todd plays as well, and Wise will score one more try. And it'd be amazing to meet Campo because I never met him. So I'm hoping to be on the field. If not, I'll be cheering for all the boys. So it'll be good fun, and it's one of the best tournaments. I feel I've played a lot of tournaments in the world, and I can tell you that the Algarve Sevens is in Europe is the best tournament that you can have, and a lot of fun. Like Todd and
He's gone.
He's gone.
He'll come back. He's back. You were saying, Pedro?
Sorry. I was saying that Algarve is for sure one of the best tournaments in Europe. So like Todd and West told, it's near the beach. The hotel is very nice. The team level is good. So I'm sure in 2021 will be even better, and it will be very fun to be with you boys again and to meet Campo over here. So it will be very, very fun for sure.
Yeah, I have a quick question for all of you. If you could bring a former companion from any of your teams that you played for, who would be Campo? Who would you choose?
What do you mean as a player to bring along to the Sevens?
Yes.
Probably Mark Ella.
Okay, and why?
As a player, mate, he's unbelievable. He was, unfortunately, he only played about 25 test matches, great vision. He was probably before his time for the Australian national team. His vision, his unpredictability, and just, mate, he was a bit like Serevi, loved a good time. Hey, Serevi.
Very good. Very good.
And that's why you got to have the character. You got to have characters in the team. Yeah. So, mate, yeah, I'd love to. He'd be fantastic.
Serevi, who would you bring to have fun with you in Algarve next year?
It's difficult. I want to bring a plane load of people, players, but no.
I think
I would love to bring one of the best players in Fiji, and I think in the world too. But he's unlucky. He's back in the village, and he's facing a tough time. Rupeni Dodau to come out, and I believe he was one of the best wingers. When he was playing in his time, when he was fit, but he made a lot of good games when he played, scored good tries, unbelievable tries, even against top wingers like Joe Rokodoko, Lote Tungiri from Australia. And he sometimes outplayed them, but he's back in the village now, looking after his farm and looking after his family. And I would love to bring him. Maybe he can run too and score some tries. I don't know.
Antonio, who would you bring to Algarve Sevens?
Well,
I'll make the
Serevi is already there,
a retired player already.
Serevi is already there, so I would bring him. But probably, I think the best two players I've seen play were Jonna Lomo and Christian Cullen. I think that year in Hong Kong, they were unbeatable because of that. Christian Cullen was impressive. He had a couple of big duels with Wise there in a couple of finals. But yeah, probably between the two, I would bring Cullen because he was more elusive and huge sidestep. Lomo was Lomo. I mean, he could. Nobody
Lomo
could
is not
tackle him
clever.
in the 15s. Imagine in the 7s with 3 or 4 guys on his back. So.
Antonio, and now you're playing because can you still do this? Remember this try against Italy some years ago?
That's 15s.
Against
Yeah.
Italy.
Yeah, but you can see the goose step. You can see the Portuguese goose
I
step.
tried to learn off of Campo and Waze, a bit of mix, but well,
You
it
scored
worked
the try.
didn't work a lot of times.
Todd, who's going to be your fun friend to bring to Algarve Sevens to play some games, but to have a good time after it?
Yeah, well, my mind went straight to the good time afterwards and then playing. So, like what Campo said, it's all about that balance, especially with this legend team. So it would probably be old rival guy he's playing against, and then turn teammate to turn great friend would be George Smith from Australia at Wallabies.
Oh.
I mean, that guy can do it all, on and off the field, and he has a great time off of it. He's thirsty. His dance moves are good. And he can do anything, any tricks on the field as well. So I think just because we're overdue for catch up, and I would give him a call.
Pedro,
Nice.
who is your choice? It's your brother or another guy?
Nah, not my brother. My brother, had many times with him, so not my brother. I would say not that I played with him, but against him. So it was called the new Serevi, was William Ryder. Of course, he wasn't so good as was Serevi, but he was quite
Very
magic
good player.
on those times. So I don't know where he's at now, but I'm sure that I would love to see him still playing, still making those Serevi moves, and maybe Serevi can bring it on and see if he has still has some footy to play.
Pedro, Rupeni Edhaudhau Nimbuda and William Ryder are from the same province, the north of Fiji, and they are both in the islands looking after their family and their farms. William Ryder is still playing. You're supposed to play Murray Sevens last in March when I was in Fiji. I was training. He asked me to come and help his team, and I was training. He was running, and I saw him. Okay, it will be fun to see him running again.
He still can run, or some steps?
He still can run. He was like running and stepping, and I was like, okay, what's going to happen next? I don't know. But it's good to see him coming back and trying to give back to his village team. And he was running all the moves and all the things. And I was excited. I was excited to see him play last couple of months of the Murray Sevens, and then the COVID-19 hit, and then it was cancelled. The biggest sevens tournament in Fiji, and didn't see him play. But I still get in touch with both of them because I feel sorry for them. They are back in the village, and they could have been out somewhere else playing rugby. But
Diogo, it seems you have to bring a Fijian team to the Algarve Sevens next year. Everybody is asking for it, and with George Smith as a captain, I think Todd, it will be nice. What can you give as a final word about next year?
Not much to be said, really, but just hoping that this, and by the way, wishing everyone all the best with these pandemic situations, and just hope we can kick off to 2021 in a better step than we did 2020, and have a great tournament. That's all. And looking forward to see you guys, and that's it. nothing much really to say.
So
Thank you so
thank
much.
you all. Thank you all for coming. I hope to see you in 1 year. And Serevi scoring tries, maybe Campisi playing a bit. Who knows?
Yes, we have to play.
Excuse me.
Whoever's coming have to play. Whoever's coming have to play.
How long for? I won't, probably, if I try to do the Bronco, I'd probably last about 20 seconds. But as I said, it's not about how fit you are, it's about if you can finish the game. But also, guys, thanks for the invitation. Next time, do you think we can make it a bit early in Australia time? You know, not 5, how about 4 o'clock? Really?
Thank you, Campo. Thank you for the
No
effort.
worries, guys.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Todd. Thank you, Campo. Thank you, Todd. Thank you, Pedro. Thank
Thanks,
you,
guys.
Antonio.
Thank you, boys.
Thank you,
All the
boys.
best.
Everyone.
Thank you all.
Uh,
This was the Q&A of Sport Ventures of the Algarve Sevens. See you next time. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
See you next year, guys.
Thank
See you
you.
guys.
See you later. Bye bye.
Bye.